Hello outdoor chefs. So I'm doing another really quick and easy one today, and I'm using that there, which is just a run-of-the-mill gas stove. That one's made by Marksman. So I've got some mushrooms. I've got a couple of different types of mushrooms, nice bit of mature cheddar, some eggs, and I'm going to make omelettes. So my friend Amy's here today, so this is lunch for me and Amy. And I'm going to cook them in them blue pots you can see there. Now I only got them the other week from the bootfair. They're little vintage pots. So let's see how they get on today doing omelettes. So let's just slice me mushrooms up. And like I said, it's going to be a really quick one today. Nice and easy one to do. And tasty as well, because it's nice and omelette, isn't it? And with this one, if you was going out hiking or something and you wanted to do this, you don't have to carry a box of eggs. Because what you can do is crack them eggs into a bottle at home and then take them in a bottle and then just pour them out, so you haven't got to worry about eggs getting broken in your backpack. And what you could even do, if you wanted to cook this and you're out like hiking and you want to keep on the move, you don't want to stop for long, if you've got a flask, you could make this at home. Chop all the mushrooms up, chop the cheese up, chop up whatever else you want to put in it, put it in a flask, crack the eggs in there, put the lid on the flask, take it with you, and then when you stop, all you have got to do is take the lid off the flask, pour it into the pan, and you have got an instant omelette. I've done that before, it works really well. And you don't even really need to do it in a flask. You could do it in a bottle if your bottle's got a nice big opening at the top of it. Or you can just make it and put it in a pot. As long as that pot has got a nice secure lid on it so it doesn't all leak out in your backpack, then you can make all of this at home and just take it with you and just pour it out when you want lunch. So that's a really good one doing it like that, because let's be honest, a nice omelette like this is much tastier than like a packet of noodles or something, can it? And if you do it like that and make it all at home, you can have a nice omelette and you've got no need to stop for any longer than you would do if you was just doing some noodles or one of them packet meals or something. So I'm just chopping my cheese up, and that is English mature cheddar. It'd be nice to this if you had 2 or 3 different types of cheese in it, but I've only got this cheese today, so that's what I'm going to use. But if you've got a few types of cheese at home, have a little mixy up with a few different types. It will make this taste better. And if you don't like mushrooms, you could use something else. There's loads of things you can put in an omelette in it. Anything you can think of works in an omelette, really. Well, apart from something like a meat pie. You can't do a meat pie omelette, but everything else works. So that's all my stuff chopped up. So let's get one of my new bootfair pots and spray a little bit of oil into it. Now these pots are like enamelled pots, and I think they're quite old, these pots. I found them at the boot fair. I think I paid £3 for the pair of them. I'm not sure, they might have even been £2, I can't really remember, but I didn't pay a lot for them, and they do look like they're going to be really good little pots to make omelettes in, so that's why I'm doing omelettes in them today. And I was going to use the twig stove, but then at the last minute I just thought, oh, let's get the old gas stove out, because I haven't used one yet on the channel, and I know a ton of you out there will have a stove exactly the same as the one I am using today, because they are probably the most common type of camping stove out there. So I'm going to put a little grind of black pepper in it. And I've got some milk here in my bottle, so I'm just going to give them a little splash of milk in there. You could put salt in these for a bit of seasoning if you wanted to, but if you watch the channel, you'll notice with me I very rarely use salt. I just don't really use it. The only times I do really use salt is on like chips or fried potatoes or roast potatoes or hash browns. Something like that I will use salt, but in something like this I just never use it. So that's the eggs all mixed up together. So let's chuck in some mushrooms and some cheese. So this one is a vegetarian one, innit? So if you're a bit of a vegetarian, this is a good one for you. No meat in here. Load of mushrooms going in there. That's what will make this one nice. Putting a load of mushroom in it. And a load of cheese. Let's get a load of cheese in there. So it's a nice simple one, just mushroom and cheese omelette, but it really does work well together. Well, as long as you like cheese and as long as you like mushroom. If you don't like cheese and mushroom, then you really will not enjoy this. So I'll just give that lot a good mix about together. And then what I will do is just put some little bits of cheese on the top. And then just put a little bit more pepper over the top. So that's all I'm doing. A few little bits of cheese. Little bit more black pepper. And there you go. That is omelette number 1 made. So let's go over to the gas stove, fire it up and get that one cooking. So this is just a bog standard camping gas stove, and it takes the long canisters of gas, this one. You all know how one of these works, innit? Now you're not going to use one of these if you're going out hiking or anything like that. But if you're like car camping or cooking out in your garden or something like that, then these stoves really are good because they're so easy to use and they do work really well. So let's start making omelette number 2. We'll just give it a little squirt of oil in there. And like if you was making this one like in your kitchen at home before you go out, like I said earlier, doing it in a flask or making it in a bottle, you don't need to take oil out because what you can do is just put a couple of little bits of butter in with all the omelette mix and that'd help it to stop sticking in your frying pan. So if you make this at home, chuck a little bit of butter in the bottle with all the bits. So put the eggs in there, a bit of pepper, little splash of milk. And you don't need to add milk to an omelette. I just do it because I think it makes them a little bit fluffier. Because sometimes I do omelettes without milk. Because my friend Jess, she can't have milk. So if I was making these for me and her today, I would not be putting milk in here. And they would be just as tasty, but I just don't think they would end up being as fluffy. And obviously, if I was making these for me and Jess, I would not be putting English mature cheddar in them because she can't have that either. So I would either be making them with different ingredients or we would be using plant-based cheese, which sounds a bit strange, but it is actually quite tasty. It does taste like cheese. So let's just chuck a load of cheese and mushrooms into this second one. I'm just checking the first one, that's cooking nicely on the old gas stove. A few more bits in there. Get the last bits of the mushroom in there. And look, that first one, that's cooking away nicely in there. Yeah, that would be really tasty, look at that. I'll turn that down a little bit actually, that's going quite fierce for an omelette. Let's turn that down. I'll end up burning all the bottom with it up that high. Yeah, look, bubbling away nicely, that omelette. It's not far off cooked really. So that's what I'm saying, this is a right quick one to do. So let's just give this a stir around. Mix it all in together. And then do the same. Put some cheese on the top of it and give it another grind of black pepper. Break the cheese up into little bits on the top of it. And I bet you lot have done it again, ain't ya? I bet you've started watching me cook again and you're sitting there with nothing to eat. Oh, how many times have I got to tell ya? If you're going to watch me cook, do yourself something to eat first. Or you'll end up like my friend Jeff, who watched last week's video and then straight after I got a message from him and it said, "Cor, watching your video made me so hungry, as soon as it finished I had to go over the cafe and get something to eat." And my friend Kenny said he watched it as well and it made him starving. He had to go and do something to eat straight after. So be prepared. Get yourself some food ready to eat while you are watching the video and then you will enjoy it more rather than sitting there starving. And look at that one now. That one's looking good, ain't it? That's nearly done, that first one. Another minute, that'll be good to go, that one. Yeah, so these pots look like they are really good pots for doing omelettes in. I thought they would be, and where they're like the enamel pots, you'll be able to hold them with that handle and just eat out of them. And because they are the metal enamel pots, they will hold heat for a long time, won't they? So the omelettes will stay nice and warm. And you should try and get some of these pots, Kenny. Have a look for 'em, mate. The enamel pots with these handles on. Because you can cook in 'em and then eat out of 'em. So it saves you carrying any bowls or plates, doesn't it? So these are a good one for when you're out camping. And my friend Kenny's got a camping channel called War Kenny Outdoors. And he's always doing a bit of cooking and that on his channel. So that's why I'm saying to him, get yourself a pair of these pots, Kenny, and do yourself some tasty omelettes, mate. So I've just took that first one off because that's done now, and I've put the second one on, and that won't take long to cook. Yeah, so I'm happy with my new bootfair pots. They was a good bootfair find, these pots. And where they're enamel as well, they'll be nice and easy to wash up, these pots. Because stuff tends not to stick to this enamel stuff. So for any of you out there who do a lot of camping and a lot of outdoor cooking, if you see a set of these pots for sale cheap somewhere in a charity shop or up the boot fair or somewhere like that, buy them because they are a really good addition to your camping cooking setup. And one of these camping stoves is a good one to buy as well. Now a stove like this one I've got here is probably only about 20 quid to buy anyway. But if you're a bit of a bargain hunter, I do see these stoves a lot in like charity shops and that for a couple of quid, or up the boot fair. I always see these stoves up the boot fair for a few quid, £3 or £4. So if you're after one of these, have a little hunt round the charity shops or go up the boot fair. And like this one that I've got here, this Marksman one, this lives in the boot of my car. Just leave it sitting in the back of the car, and then if I'm out somewhere and I fancy doing myself something to eat, I can just stop, get the little stove out and cook myself some lunch or a bit of breakfast or something. So they're a good one to have and just leave in the car. I know they're a bit heavy for taking out hiking. They're no good for that. You want a little ultralight one. But for leaving in the boot of your car, if you can find one for a couple of £3 or something, one of these gas stoves really is worth buying. Because it works as well as your cooker in the kitchen. It really does. Where you can adjust the heat and all that, you can cook anything on one of these gas stoves. So let's go in and have a look how that second one's doing. Yeah, look at that. Tasty, eh? And that's not far off cooked now. Another minute, that one will be done. So there you go, in no time at all I've cooked 2 really tasty omelettes. And if you've done all this at home, like I said, and done them in a flask and just literally poured them out when you stopped, you could have tasty omelettes in no time whatsoever. So I'm going to call it on that one, because I think that omelette is done enough now. So I shall take that one off and just put the other one back on there for a minute, just to warm it back up, make sure it's nice and hot. And that's it, 2 tasty omelettes cooked on the Marksman gas stove. Now you know these are going to be tasty, really simple and really tasty. Great one to cook when you're out camping. And you could have these for lunch, you could have these for breakfast, you could have these for your dinner. Although if I was having these for my dinner, I think I'd want 2 of them, because I am a little bit greedy. So there you go, look, omelettes are done, and any of you that never done yourself something to eat, it's your own fault that you are starving now. So I'm just going to put a bit of tomato sauce on top of them, and this one's Amy's, so I shall give her a nice little smiley face on top. Make that one into a happy omelette for Amy. So there you go. 1 normal omelette, 1 very happy omelette for Amy. And she's looking at that now and shaking her head and just laughing at me. But I know that she really likes her happy face omelette, and she's really going to enjoy eating that. So thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button so you can join me again, and then you can see what tasty, delicious treats I am cooking up next.